All right. It's been a little bit since I made a video. I don't know what to make a video about. Um, so I had a little short, like 3-minute video, basically just showing off the new exhaust that I have on the car. I figured maybe in this one I'll talk about exactly what it is and yada yada and yap off for a little bit. I'll do some sound clips as well. Hopefully the wind's not too bad out here. Yeah, so before we got the exhaust installed, it was just a mid muffler delete with the SRT Max Plus cam, and it sounded pretty good. But honestly, I really wanted a more aggressive chop. It was cool, but I just wanted it to be a lot more aggressive. Doesn't hurt to add a little bit of power too at the same time. Man, this thing's looking rough. Look at how trash this fitment is. It's really bad over here. I'm kind of waiting to do something about it because I have a new bumper on order that's just taken forever to get here. Anyways, enough of that. So we had the cam before the exhaust. So the exhaust we have on here is the Kooks headers exhaust. Really nice, really high quality. I kind of wish I started this video like to kind of show off the pipes and everything, but by the time it by the time the day came to drop this thing off, I was kind of in a rush, so I kind of like just dropped it off, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about showing off the pipes or whatever. So my apologies for that. Anyway, so we got the Kooks headers with the catless connection pipes, and then we have the Solo Performance exhaust. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's like the XT3, something weird like that. But I think it's also called the Street Race one too, and they call it that, I'm assuming because there's absolutely no mufflers on it. So there's no mid muffler, there's no resonators on that Solo Performance. So this one has an X pipe where the mid muffler would go, and it's 3 inches in, 3 inches out, I believe. And then the bends, the pipes that go from the X pipe to like where the tips start, I think it's like a 3-inch exhaust too. 3-inch pipe, sorry. And it comes out of these tips that came with the Solo Performance exhaust. They don't look too crazy. I mean, no, it'd be cool if it said like, you know, Solo Performance on top, like the Borlas and the Corsas do, but it is what it is. I believe they are 4.5-inch tips. They don't look too bad. Make sure I don't bust my shit. Yeah, stick out a little bit. They look pretty decent though, but you know, nothing to brag about. The Solo Performance exhaust also comes with these things called J pipes, and it's supposed to help with the droning on the inside. It's really nice. Because I'm not gonna lie, this car is pretty fucking loud now. So anything to help make it a little bit more enjoyable for the driver, you know, I'm not gonna complain about that. So like I said, Kooks headers to the catless connection pipes to the Solo Performance short exhaust. No cats, no mid muffler, no resonators. So there's nothing on here to dampen that sound anymore. Just the J pipes to help with the droning to make it more enjoyable for your pleasure. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's a really nice combination of exhaust. I went with the Kooks headers because it's just super nice quality. They're really nice. You know, I mean, why pinch pennies on these performance parts? You know what I mean? Like, you just don't get into modifying your car if you're not willing to spend money on some good quality parts. With that also being said, I totally got the Solo Performance for two reasons. I've heard exhaust clips and I thought it sounded good. I thought that exhaust with the Kooks, I thought it would sound wonderful. Plus there's another video on here, I can't remember the dude's name, but he's doing like the title of the video is basically the same thing, or like the same setup as here, you know, the SRT Max cam, Kooks headers, and the Solo Performance, and he's just doing pulls up and down some streets. Can't remember the name unfortunately, but saw that video and I was like, that thing sounds nasty and that's what I want. So that too, and then the final reason for this specific Solo one is I thought about getting the one that had the muffler still instead of the X pipe, but honestly it was like, I don't know, a little bit more money, but not like a crazy amount, but like just a little bit more. So it's still an exhaust that costs money, but I was just like, it's gonna be loud regardless, might as well save $100 and get the one that doesn't have the muffler. So maybe I am a penny pincher. Anyways, it sounded really good. There's a buddy of mine who has a Solo Performance. He has I think OBX headers, I think that's what it was, or was it Stainless Works? It was something, but he's got the same Solo Performance. It just has the muffler in the middle instead of the X pipe, and his sounds ridiculous. But he's also on a stroker motor, so his just is naturally going to sound nastier. It's still louder than this. The exhaust is a little expensive. I wouldn't get into it, or I wouldn't buy it if you're just not in the right financial situation, just because it adds up, you know. I personally don't know how to install anything myself. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I just don't got the tools, the right place to do it. So I just have my buddy of mine who's always works on it, and he did it. So I had to pay a little installation fee, you know, basically paying someone to do it. He's starting up his shop. I don't know if he has any pages up for it, but I think it's called LR Performance. I think that's what he decided to name it. So super shout out to him, hooking it up as always. But anyway, so the headers themselves cost like, I think they change the prices every now and then, but they'll change the prices for like the connection pipes too. So like at the end of the day, it all totals out to be the same, but the individual things cost different. It's kind of goofy. The headers right now I think are like $1,400 for just the headers. That's not including the connection pipes, and then the connection pipes are like $1,600, which I don't know if I'm just you know, being a negative Nancy, but why the hell do the connection pipes cost more than the headers? That it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it just seems kind of goofy to me. So all in all, if you wanted to buy the exact same headers and the exact same connection pipes right now, it would cost you like $3,000 off the Kooks website. I doubt anybody's got them for cheaper. On like their own sites, like performance shops and whatnot. The Solo Performance is, when I looked at it, it was like $950, and right now it's still $950, so that's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely did buy it during Black Friday, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of these performance websites will be like, oh, 20% off, but they'll raise the price, so it's not really on sale. It just looks like it's on sale. But the Solo Performance, as far as I know, it was a legit sale, so I was pretty happy with that. So I got it for a little less, but it's about, yeah, a little under $1,000 basically if you bought it right now. So that's what, about $4,000. Yeah, about $4,000 total for the whole exhaust, from the headers to the Solo Performance exhaust. And then I got some other things fixed while all that was getting installed. So we got some leaks fixed. Yeah, this thing's just, I've done a lot to make it a lot more reliable, but it's still a work in progress. So we fixed a lot of leaks. There's a coolant leak. The AC condenser was leaking really bad, and what else? An oil leak. It was really small, but you know, nobody wants to be leaking oil. So we dropped the motor, fixed a bunch of that up, yada yada. So after a new tune and installation and all this other crap, for that it was like, I think I spent $1,800. So that's what, about $4,000 for the exhaust, $1,800 for the installation. So at the end of the day, I mean, this shit adds up, you know. You might like look at the headers like, oh, $1,400, that's not bad. And then you start looking at everything you need. I mean, obviously if you can do it yourself, you're not going to pay somebody to install it like myself, but at the end of the day, this stuff will add up quick, really quick. So that's like almost $6,000 total just for the whole thing. I am pretty happy with it, so I'm not really complaining about that. So far I haven't had any issues. The tune's been good. We switched to HP tuners, and we got the transmission tuned now, which is pretty cool. On the performance side, I'm not gonna lie, I tested it out a little bit when I first got it, but the thing just draws so much goddamn attention now. I don't really like send it like that anymore. It's just so loud, and there's just always cops or troopers everywhere. So like, I haven't really been able to test it out like I wanted to. But from like a dig, like a 0 to 60, I can feel the difference, but I don't think that's where it shines. You know, these headers are kind of nicer for like the mid to top end power gains. So like I said, it's I don't know how to explain it. I can feel a little difference from a dig, but like, that's not where you're gonna see it. What I will say is on the highway, when I do a roll from like 60, it definitely feels a lot more responsive. So on the highway, this thing definitely picks up a lot more than it did before the exhaust install. So definitely shines there, which is nice, because honestly, I always thought this thing was really slow from a roll. And I'm not saying it's like crazy fast now, but it's definitely faster. Even with just the cam before I got the exhaust installed, I didn't even feel that much of a difference. But after the headers, definitely a big difference on the highway. So overall, it's pretty nice. I'll probably make it to the track hopefully a couple times before this next winter. And my last best time was like a 13.2. So I'm really hoping I can get into the 12s with this exhaust. I'm definitely gonna be a little salty if I can't make it in the 12s after spending fucking $5,800. So that's the goal. Hopefully get in the 12s, even a 12.99. Like, it's a 12. I'll be happy with it. I wanted to get a lot more done at the same time, but you know, it'll happen when it happens. But overall, I mean, yeah, this thing sounds pretty gnarly. I think it's probably enough time to get over the yapping and do some exhaust sounds. So I've driven it a couple times, so this is definitely not the first startup. I mean, obviously, so it's a little warmed up now, so it can be louder, but it won't be as loud right now. definitely a little louder than I thought it was gonna be. It's like I said, the engine's warmed up. I haven't taken this thing to work because I got to be at work latest like 8, so I'd be starting the car up at like 7:30 a.m. and I'm not trying to piss off the people in my apartment complex, so I have not taken this thing to work. The first startups of the day, fucking ridiculous. This thing is so loud. So yeah, I mean, this thing sounds pretty gnarly. Yeah, overall, you can't really make any mistakes with this setup. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't have any negative comments about it, negative thoughts, whatever. I honestly feel like it's perfect. The only thing I can say is that it's really loud. So the only thing I'd say is, like, to warn anybody interested in it, it's gonna be loud. So, like, if you like to daily yours and you just want it to be like fun and like relaxing and a little stress reliever, I mean, this is gonna draw a lot more attention to your car. It might be too loud. If you got kids and you drive them around, they might not like it, you know. The inside, once it warms up, it's definitely not as bad. But when you're on the highway and you're pressing the gas, you can definitely hear it in here. I personally don't mind it, but I feel like whenever I'm driving my friends around or something, that they're not enjoyers of it. Oh, it looks like we got security pulling up. That's unfortunate. Maybe not security. Somebody, though. Ugh. Definitely weird. I'm not gonna stick around here in an empty lot. Like an empty lot. Where there's just one rando. You know what? I'm fine. It's an older gentleman with, I would assume, his wife. And they're walking away. Oh well. But yeah, the only thing is, I would just warn anybody. It might just be too loud for you, at least for like right now. Like if it's your daily, you're not really trying to go full blown loud race car, then it might not be for you. My ultimate goal is to just get this thing pretty fast, so this exhaust is just a piece of the puzzle that I finally got done. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, if anything, this car is only going to get louder. In a perfect world, I'd like to my dream build has always been a boosted 426. I mean, I'd even be happy with, like, even still a naturally aspirated 426, but before I got this thing, I would look at videos of like boosted 426s, and I fell in love with them. I just thought it was like the most badass build you could possibly do. It's just what I want. It's just my goal. It's not for everybody. Plus, that's a super expensive route. Like, just the engine alone for that is ridiculous. Like, I mean, like, you could buy a used car for that price. But yeah, my windows don't work, so I can't really do some like crazy like watt pulls, because you're just not gonna hear it. This is the only thing that works, is the sunroof just cracks open a little bit. I guess the only other thing I might add on too is that the headers comes with O2 extension, the O2 sensors. They comes with extensions, so that's nice. And the entire exhaust comes with the hardware you need for the headers and the solo. They'll send you everything you need. But I would probably just get OEM exhaust manifold gaskets, and then probably the exhaust manifold bolts too. I just always trust OEM than, you know, the cheap stuff they'll send you. I'm sure some people don't have a problem with it, but better to be safe than sorry, I would say. Maybe I'll try to do a couple pulls in here, and we'll see what happens.